What is going on, YouTube? Y'all Squad? It's your boy Yakrates, and this is your review for Real Housewives of Potomac, season 9, episode 19. This is a reunion part 2. Before we get into this reunion, I don't know if I said it over here, but I know I said it on the panel last week. I'm pretty sure I said it here that this episode was going to end with it being teased about the whole thing with TJ and I tried to told y'all, but see, y'all gonna listen to me one day. Okay. But let's get into it. All right. So Mia is still in air quotes sobbing. Andy goes to talk to Mia. He says, there's nothing more, worse than a shame spiral, and she's currently there. Give yourself a break. Don't beat yourself up. Mia brings up being in the last stages of her divorce. Yeah, nobody believes that. So they're back on stage. We pick back up with the whole GNA talk. Giselle's an empty nester. She is enjoying it. The twins, in their first semester, both 4.0 GPAs. The girls still have not met. Well, they still don't know their stepmom. Josh was upset about some things that was said about him, primarily some of what Wendy has said. And Wendy pretty much makes it clear to Ashley, okay, but you've said things about my husband. You brought up things in reference to my husband. So with that being said, sit there and sit with it. I'm like, okay, well, come on, Wendy. And I noticed, even though Wendy was not first chair, even though she's going to be first chair going into the next episode, Wendy is carrying this reunion on her back. And I'm loving it. I am. So we get so Stacy and Kay being the new girls, their package. Kiana pretty much brings up the transition because she said without saying it, even though we know that initially she was just a friend of and Jazzy was the main cast member. Jazzy fell off, so they promoted her to full cast member. I guess we could say early to mid season. Same thing happened with Claudia when she was on Atlanta, where Demetria McKinney was supposed to be the housewife, but they ended up promoting Claudia up, and they had to go do some pickup scenes to kind of like feel it out for her. So same thing happened here. Find out that Kay and Greg are still together. They went to look for rings last week. Kay says that they did separate. She's in a condo in the process of purchasing that condo, and she'll move back in after the ring. But I wonder why Andy didn't bring up. But if this house is already done and you went half on it, like Andy didn't ask that question, that should have been a follow up question. But I'm gonna leave that alone. A question was asked, "Do you feel unsupported?" And she said she did. And even Andy brings up, Greg is there to support you. When he was on Watch What Happens Live, he did say that, "Hey, look, I'm here to support her." So cool. Stacy, Andy brings up TJ being her former lover. Kay was like, were they ever together? But it's crazy, like, how is it that Andy got this tea and none of your cast members got? I mean, I get it, but that's kind of one of those ways. All right. Stacy says that it was a lot of pressure, and then after watching this back, there were some things that shocked her, like how he spoke to her, how her family acted. There was a comment about how I paid him being more interested in the trainer. A comment that Wendy made. Wendy wasn't the only one that made it, but a comment that Wendy made, and Wendy apologizes for her comment, right? And then we found out they broke up around the holiday season. She is divorced. When I tell you, everybody was just like, "How the hell Ashley getting divorced before you, and your divorce is finalized before hers?" I mean, hell, quiet as hell, loud as it is. Even though she a Kenya lookalike, hell, Kenya was going through a divorce for how many damn seasons? She was, she was going through a divorce longer than when she was married to Mark. But we ain't here to talk about Atlanta. She and TJ, they are still friends, even though that's what they were this whole entire time. A question is asked, were you with TJ for a storyline and to boost his acting career? And she was like, well, I just don't know what to say. And Andy did not press her here because you did not answer the question. But I think Andy was okay because if we gonna keep it a buck, especially part two, this has been a very airy and light reunion. Mind you, there is a drama, but it's not dark. It's not now, mind you, it did get a little heavy towards the end, but it wasn't there the whole time. So I guess. Ashley brings up Stacy wearing the same dress she wore a few months before, and that is what she wore during the finale. And Stacy feels that Vivian was being shady. Now I don't have it up, but we might end up talking about it tomorrow, so I might have to find it. But Vivian had pretty much said on social media that she had told Stacy that, hey, Ashley had already worn this, but she still wanted to wear it. We don't know who's right, who's wrong. At the same time, though I like Stacy, I'm more inclined to believe Vivian, and that's only because Stacy, you've already shown us how you are about a dress in reference to Wendy not wearing that poofy dress that Giselle then went ahead and bought. We're gonna come back to that in a second. So I'm more inclined to believe Vivian, just being objective. But yes, she thought that Vivian was being shady. Stacy felt she was being shady on purpose. And then Wendy tells us that Stacy said, F that bet. And everybody was like, oh, you talk like that, Stacy? Oh, snap, that's the teacher. And then even Stacy's like, okay, well, Wendy brought it out of me, baby. It's already there. And chances are, first and foremost, Stacy has solidified herself for the next season. Stacy, if you were smart, all these little compliments you've been giving Giselle, yeah, you see Giselle been coming at your neck like you should have been sparring back with her. Not heavy, but just enough because guess what, baby girl? That's your storyline, right? That's Giselle's storyline next season. So best believe that's yours. But and again, and if you smart, bring Vivian on. And hey, I'm just saying, she was already a semi friend of. Bring her back. Let's have that going on. So Stacy says that it was difficult because she elevated Vivian by having her as her exclusive fashion designer. Now, Stacy, baby, ma'am, ma'am. Um, I get where you're going with this, and look, I'm all about putting your private parts on the table and talking your ish, but you are a beautiful woman, and she really is. But your fashions have not been again. I can't talk about nobody fashion because I dress regular, but still, your fashions ain't been there. Your hairstyle at the very end was not. I mean, even your hairstyle on the reunion right now and all that. So to sit here and try to say that you elevated somebody else when you aren't giving us elevation, yeah, baby, you could have kept that one. You don't do that no more. That was stupid. Um. And then she says she is dead to me and it's over. And I'm kind of sitting here like, that's very finite. And if that is all that it took for somebody to be again, my only thing is there has to be more to this. Because I'm a firm believer you can't do wrong by somebody and tell them how to respond. But I just feel like we're missing something. So Stacy brings up being Hayes. Ashley brings up, well, Stacy does know how to dish it. Facts. And then a question is asked, when you were with Gordon, you wore, oh, this is for Mia. When you were with Gordon, you wore blazers. And you were with Ink wearing Fashion Nova. Now Mia has her, answer to that. I don't care about the answer. I just found that to be funny and shady all at the same time. Um, we find out that the dress that Giselle wore during the finale, she got it just to spite Stacy, which we knew. But then come to find out that she gifted it to Wendy. I was like, oh, that is shade indeed, my Lord in heaven. And I even put in my notes right here that it's lots of laughs, and I'm enjoying that about this reunion where I like being able to just sit here and laugh. Mind you, I did not take like detailed notes because we would be here all day. But I was just enjoying it. I'm actually going to watch part two again because it was actually good. Jacqueline enters. She's prego doing May. I just want to say the only reason Jacqueline was there was to answer a few questions that Andy had about Mia. So why the hell was she there? But that ain't my business. So Mia's love triangle package comes up. Ink is not there. They're broken up. She says there were outside influences and things were hard. Andy brings up, but your tagline said Ink was permanent. I'm like, come on, Andy. Andy is shady. But I was here for it. Wendy brings up the backlash that comes with being on the show and Ink not being ready. And though I understand it, he is a radio personality, so though he may not fully understand what comes with being on a syndicated show such as this, you are a bit of a celebrity, which means that you should already know it, generally what comes with this. But when and a lot of people on social media was mad because Wendy always defended Mia. It wasn't that because Wendy was setting it up to knock it all the way right back down. So Giselle feels that Mia and Ink are still together. She lives in Atlanta. Ink lives in Atlanta. Giselle even made a comment about when she's flying, she's always in the back. Mia didn't catch that. I'm like, Mia, she pretty much just said, baby, you fly coach, which ain't nothing wrong with flying coach. But with a show like this and it being about opulence and all the other stuff, it's a little crazy. So Wendy says she feels that Mia had this orchestrated. Remember how I said that Wendy was building her up to knock it down? Here it is. Says that she orchestrated this for this season, but when it backfired, she tried to pivot. Her, Gordon, and Ink are in on it. So then the question is asked: did you tell your kids about being divorced for the first time on camera? She says yes. She says her kids are not allowed on social media, and Jeremiah knows nothing about what's going on. But the women are all saying like, so you don't think that his friends and whatnot are going to say anything? She says that they are in private homeschooling. Baby, what's private homeschooling? Isn't homeschooling already private? Now I do understand there is community homeschooling, but that ain't what this is. Again, I don't be knowing what me be saying, y'all. So then IVF and pregnancy comes up. I really wasn't trying to follow this because Mia was saying that she could have still been pregnant with the IVF. But Winnie was like, that's technically impossible because before they do the IVF, they give you a pregnancy test. They check your blood. So there's no way that you could have been. Again, Mia just be lying, right? Okay. So Andy asks Jacqueline her opinion. She says this looks very familiar. She's done this song and dance with Gordon before. Even asking her, does she feels that Mia's a lie? She was like, Mia doesn't, lie to me. Does she exaggerate things? Yes. Trying to be a good friend. Still shouldn't have said that. Mia says that Gordon wanted to show up for the girls to apologize to him because he puts a lot on her when it's not warranted. They all call bull. So do I. Wendy brings up that in Miami that Mia said that the group is Destiny's Child. So they're Destiny's Child. The group is Michelle, and she is Beyonce. Eddie, I think it was Eddie. Like, okay, well, who is Kelly? Cause who is Kelly? Like, I'm like, how Kelly go catch a show? Don't do Kelly. Don't do Kelly. So then a question is brought up: if bringing up your children brings stress to your life, why bring up Giselle's children in a worse context? She says that she didn't think it was okay and apologized. Giselle brings up Mia jumping up and pretty much getting in her face. And Mia was like, well, that's because you called me a bad mother. She was like, in this instance, this season, yes, you were. Because a mother would not put their children out there on display in the manner in which you did. Mia could not take it. She gets up and she leaves. They take a break. Greg and Eddie are the only husbands. They FaceTime TJ. TJ said, he was being evacuated because of the fires, that being a real thing. He says that he not doing this fake ass show with these fake ass people. And then obviously we did not hear the last of the conversation, but then we see we could hear I guess it's probably simulated typing of Eddie typing Wendy. Wendy is gagged. And she was like, I think she was like, oh my gosh, or something like that. And the girls want to know. And then it's to be continued. I tried to told y'all. 'Cause I knew we was gonna end with that cliffhanger. So we gonna see how next episode plays out. Don't forget that whether you like it or not, panel will be here at the Citadel tomorrow. Please make sure you are here for the finale. We will be at Sakina's house, and we're just gonna have a good time. So thank you all so much for watching. Please rate, comment, subscribe, and share, and I will see you all tomorrow. Peace out.